Let's do her.
All right, this is James Pelton, and I am here with Tanner from Mech.Game. So I just want to start out by welcoming the audience, and thank you guys so much for joining us, for hopping on. Always appreciate you guys hopping on for lives. And as always, if you've been to my lives before, you kind of know the routine, but I need you to start by liking the video so that YouTube will show it to more people. So they use that in their algorithm of what's good content and what's not. And this is good content. I mean, look at Tanner. He's a good looking. You're one of the better looking AMA guests that I've had.
Well, appreciate that.
Yes. And then also, if you're in the audience, I'd like you to comment where you're watching from. So I haven't done that for a while, but where are you watching from? So I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, and just cool to connect with people all around the world as we connect over crypto and gaming. And last thing before we start, I did swear off play to earn games, but I was really mainly talking about like the Police and Thieves clones and just the I don't want to call them lame games, but I'll call them lame games. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do any more of those, but this is better. Okay. So we're going to talk about this one. So Tanner, if you could start by just introducing yourself and give a little bit of your background.
Certainly. So yeah, thanks for having me on. Glad we get to do this live for everybody. My name is Tanner Larson. As I said, I am a serial entrepreneur is the best way to put it. I've been building companies since 2000 and been mostly obviously in Web 2 since Web 3 didn't exist back then. But my experience has been in direct response marketing, building online internet companies and different things like that. I've done everything from, info products to AdWords to Amazon FBA, physical product sourcing, and then e-commerce has been the name of my game for pretty much the last, the whole time. I was an eBay power seller, but everything. But the latest company that I've been building was Build, Grow, Scale. It's an e-commerce optimization company. I started that in 2014. And just last month, I exited to go full degen. I realized that this is the crypto space and specifically blockchain gaming is the future that I want to be involved in. And so I took that opportunity to exit. The company that I'd spent 70 employees in the last, 8 years of my life building. So that was a big transition, but I knew it was the right one and the one that I wanted to make. So my skill set from the e-commerce space was building, sourcing, optimization, customer lifetime value, different things like that. Have done very well collectively. We've done over $500 million in that side of the world. I wish all that was mine, because if it was, James and I would be sitting on my island doing this call instead of in our offices. But either way, we've done very well for it. And the crypto side of things, I've been in crypto since 2016. I rode the wave up all through Christmas and thought, oh my God, I'm going to retire for real this time. And then I watched it, rode it all the way back down. And I've been involved ever since, buying, selling, trading, like working with companies, consulting, stuff like that. But recently, in the last 8 months or so, I got really heavy in the blockchain gaming space. About a year ago, I got into it early because I thought it was cool because I'm a gamer. And then I realized, like James just said, the games suck. And they're lame, and most of them were barely games. They're more like DeFi apps disguised as games, or they were clicky gambling sites where it's like click to race and then you won or you lost. I'm like, that's not a game. But I loved the opportunity and like where it was going, and I figured that was just the early evolution. And then I saw this perfect storm coming of blockchain gaming, indie games, the ability to use the NFT technology, not as a piece of art or a PFP, but the underlying technology as a serial number to assign value and ownership to a game character, which is something that if you're a gamer, we've all wanted since forever. Like I remember playing Diablo 2 back in the 90s, and we would sell our game character accounts on eBay to try to make some money from it, even though it was illegal because we didn't own the IP. We just wanted to do it. And then World of Warcraft and all the other games do the same thing. So NFT technology just makes that actually a viable and legal way to do it. So that's kind of the gist of where I started and why I got excited.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I remember selling Pokemon Game Boy cartridges with, I have 13 Pokemon up to level 100. And so we'd sell the cartridges and things like that. So that's very cool. And that's what I've been waiting for too. Because, when we talk about economy, if you've watched some of my lives before, Entertainment is a big currency.
Yep.
And that's what's been lacking. We have these economies, these play to earn economies, but entertainment is not a currency because it's not fun.
Correct.
And so in order for a play to earn game to work, in order for there to be money to be made, there needs to be other currencies involved. And the main one being it needs to be fun.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've noticed with like Call of Duty is people will pay, $7 billion for their character to look a certain way because the game is fun. And so there's a lot of money to be made there.
Absolutely. Just to touch on that, one of the things that we're doing differently was I approached it from that same standpoint and from a business thing. Like I think I've heard it on some of your videos as well in the past, talking about, blockchain gaming and crypto gaming and like kind of the boom that people are expecting in this space. And it's true. I believe full force that gaming is going to be the next boom in crypto, but what people don't realize is it's not going to come from the people already in crypto. We have to get the mainstream gaming demographic to cross over, and that's going to be what sparks the boom. But like you said, entertainment is not there right now. So traditional gamers play for fun. Crypto games aren't fun. So until we can build games that are not necessarily equivalent as like a AAA level, but still fun to play games, even if you want to call them toilet games or whatever else, but they're engaging, that's not going to happen. And but the potential is there's 1.5 to 2 million people max involved in some aspect of blockchain gaming right now. There's 2.96 billion online traditional gamers. So the opportunity is there for the adoption when the right kind of games come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think AAA games will be a big part of that, but the problem is they take so long to build where we're still, I think Illuvium's going to be the first one and it's still months out.
At the very earliest. I have no doubt we're going to get another pushback when it gets to, okay, we're not ready.
Yep. So there's definitely a place for kind of the indie games to start getting us in that direction where they're not boring, but they're not AAA and they're going to be soon. So, well, let's talk through for people who, just assume that people have never heard of Mech.Game because I've heard of it, but can you just talk through kind of what it's aiming to be?
Yeah, sure. So Mech.Game we're designing it as game first, right? So the goal is to build a game that myself, my kids, I would want to play, even if there was no play to earn economics. And then of course, we're going to layer in play to earn economics. The game itself came about because of a bunch of market research that I did, because as a business guy, I approached this as a business. And I didn't just jump into like, hey, I want to build a game. Let's do this. I didn't want to be a me too. There's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy out there, and it talks about finding your blue ocean in a sea of red. And one of the ways you do that is by solving a need, finding a market, all these different things. What I found was that I did all the market research in all these gaming genres, and I'll go fast through this because it's interesting, but it's not critical. But anyway, Mech Gaming and Tower Defense Gaming were two audiences that really appealed to me based on all the demographics and everything else, and the size and the streamability and the loyalty and the longevity of play and all that. I uploaded those audiences and that demographic data to a company called Tower Data. They have a software called Crystallytics that overlaps demographic data and matches it up with big data and does all this crazy number crunching thing and tells you like honeypots, commonalities, and things like that. But what the general thing was, there was a massive overlap between those two audiences. And those two audiences both love both types of gaming. But mech gamers were upset because there was only mech versus mech combat games. There was no variety of gaming. So we said, hey, what if we built a tower defense game using a little bit of strategy, because I'm an RTS guy, and then throwing in a mech as a hero character that runs around the map and does really badass stuff. And that's where Mech.Game was born. The next element of what we decided to do was another thing that I find fault with in the crypto gaming space specifically is the fact that most projects, I'm not naming any projects, but most of these projects out here that say they're going to be a game, what they sold you was a PFP. They sold you a JPEG or a PNG or something like that. And then they're saying, oh, that's going to be your character in the game. Well, that's not true. That's not even physically possible unless your little square image bounces around the game. Like if you actually expect to have a mobile game character that does something, like you bought a ninja and you want a ninja PFP and you want a ninja in the game, they're not the same. So you own the NFT, but you don't own the actual game character that's developed. So we went in reverse order and we built our Genesis collection. Oh yeah, he zoomed out. So it went way small, but we built our 3D game characters. What you're looking at right there on the screen is one of our 3D fully animated game characters, and built those as NFTs. So what you see on OpenSea is that you'll be able to drag, drop, manipulate, do different things. And it is the same character you play in the game. So you actually have true asset ownership, which is going to be very common moving forward, like as the gaming space develops. But right now it's very rare. I only know of 2 other projects that have actually done it, and a few more are talking about it. So you'll own your mech, you'll own your character. The character itself, like this guy, this is a Vanguard. He has 13 different rarity traits, which they all have, that are fixed traits that establish rarity. And then they have 16 game editable game stats that you can upgrade, tweak, manipulate, and stuff like that. Everything that you change on that character gets reported to the blockchain and is visible on OpenSea on your NFT listing. So if you upgrade it, it'll show how much you spent upgrading it, and it'll show that on the NFT on OpenSea. So you'll be able to justify higher prices when you want to sell.
Very cool. Very cool. And I have some people, I'm just reading some comments. DeFi Printer saying, I thought he said he won't cover degen anymore. I did say that. I wouldn't necessarily consider this degen. I think this is a necessary step in, I think gaming is going to be the future of crypto. And I think games like this are a big step. And I actually think Mech.Game is, we'll talk about the investment side of it soon. I am a gamer at heart, so that is where my first thought is where's the game. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
I'll touch on that too. Like I consider myself a degen in that I just love all aspects of crypto and would love to basically make every bit of my money and everything from different crypto worlds, which is cool. But I don't. This game is as well. If you compare it to other projects and you look at the gap that it's filling in the marketplace, it's a true game. If I didn't have play to earn economics and I didn't want to allow my players to own the assets, this would be a game on Steam, right? It'd be on the Steam game engine. It'd be an indie game over there. We decided though that we want to actually bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. So we brought it over here.
Yep, absolutely. And I think, just you coming on and showing your face and things like that, like this is not, I mean, you look at the team and kind of some of the experience that they have. I mean, this is a big team. This isn't just like a guy and his friend in their basement putting this together. I mean, this is a team building this. So yeah, no, very cool. So let's talk about the earn side of it. So we talked a little bit about the play side of it. And well, maybe could we get what is your definition of like a mech game? Is this going to be a tower defense type game, or how would you describe the gameplay?
So the game is going to be top-down shooter, where basically you have 2 NFTs in the game. You have your mech and you have your base, which is the land. Okay, so you have both of those. They're both game editable. They're both upgradable. All that stuff. Obviously, in tower defense, you're defending yourself against swarms of enemies coming in trying to destroy your base. Unlike traditional tower defense, where you have a channel that all the enemies come through and you just get out of their way and blow them up, it's an open style map where the enemies can come from different areas. You also have some strategy elements in that you have to harvest resources in the game or in the level in order to build the towers. And then your mech is that hero character that runs around supporting all the different aspects of the game that you're doing, helping with the strategy and all the cool features that he has. So you're getting a little bit of everything, but it's like tower defense meets top-down shooter is the way the gameplay is.
Okay. Do you think this would be a good time to show the trailer?
Sure, we could show trailer first.
Before we get into, let's do that. Let's show the trailer just so people get a feel for it. And then we'll talk
guys,
about the investment side.
I rushed this to get this out so we could show it to James's audience. I don't love the music, but the footage is great.
Okay. Good disclaimer. Anything that you put together, there's always disclaimer. It's like, oh, it could be better with this or that.
Yeah, I mean, you're always super critical of your own stuff, but everybody else seems to like it. I just don't love the music.
Okay. I like it. Man, that gets me excited. I've been longing for the day when, gaming and crypto, they're 2 of my favorite things, and just seeing them meet together. So yeah, very cool. That was a way better way to show what the gameplay looks
Yep.
like rather than having you try to explain it. So
Explain it for sure.
yeah. So let's talk about the financial side of it. So
Absolutely.
is there going to be a cost to play? Is there going to be a free to play version?
Yep. So
That would be
we'll have two versions of the game. It'll be the same game, but so in play to earn games, one of the biggest problems with play to earn games is as they grow, the barrier to entry becomes so high that you don't get more growth from new players because they're not willing to take that chance to just try it. So a free to play side of the game is very important to encourage new players in. Free to play players do not participate in the economy though. They're just playing the game for fun. They can earn experience points and they can get addicted. And then as they're playing, they're going to see, hey, if you had beat this level on the play to earn side, you would have earned this much. And it's just going to keep a tally and just make them feel sick until they finally jump over to the play to earn side. On the play to earn side, though, you have your mech, your base, your stronghold, which is the land, and both of those work. But only the people who have the mech and the stronghold participate in the play to earn economy aspects.
okay. And do you kind of have an estimate for like what starting costs will be to get in? Like if you want to get in at the minimum in that area?
Yep. So honestly, the best absolute way to get in right now is going to be through our Genesis Mint, which is coming up next week. Obviously, we're going to start our collection's 10,000, but that's just the first collection, right? Obviously, we'll have more game characters as the game grows and everything else. But we decided to really stack the deck on our first collection and make it our true Genesis collection and provide a massive amount of perks and value to everybody. So with that collection, I mean, there's a whole ton of perks. You can check them out on the website. We don't have to go through all of them and everything, but when you buy the one mech, the Genesis mech, you're also going to get to mint the land, the stronghold for free. Everybody else will have to pay for it. But if you buy during this collection, you're also going to get that. So really you buy one NFT and you're set on the play to earn side. Or if you buy multiple ones, you're set for rentals or anything else you want. Also, you'll get the mystery airdrop, which is the most rare character in the game that there will only be ever 10,000 of. And we're dropping that. So, and then you get token allocations, token staking. There's tons of rewards, but in terms of cost basis, best bang for the buck, the best way to get into the game is through the Genesis collection because everything else is included if you own the Genesis mech. But if you come in later and you buy a traditional mech, you're going to have to buy it piece by piece. Or a package deal or something, but it'll cost you more. Right now, our mint is going to go out at $600. I'm not saying a mint price in terms of ETH because ETH is going crazy right now.
Right.
And we want to keep it fair for everybody. So I don't want to say 0.2 and then ETH goes up and everybody's like, oh my God, what? So we're pegging it at 600. We're going to make it fair for everybody. So whatever on mint day ETH is at, that's what we're going to be paying.
Okay, very cool. I want to mention too, just to people watching. So often I charge for AMAs sometimes, just for my time sometimes. But I'm so excited about crypto gaming and Mech.Game in particular. There's no payment for this or anything. I just love this project, love crypto gaming, just want to help move it forward. I want to be part of it moving forward. So just want to clarify that. Some people still thinking it's a degen play or something like that. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's very legit. And if you do have questions, feel free to ask.
Yep, happy to answer any questions you guys got.
Yep. So then how does earning work? I think would be the next question. So that's
Perfect.
how you get in, you mint. How does the earning work?
Yeah. So after you mint, you're playing the game. The game is going to be level based. So think about it like StarCraft or something like that. You play the game, you complete the level and the objectives, and you have a score screen, right? The score screen is going to show you how many you killed, how long you lasted, all the different objectives that you have to complete. Based on that score, the algorithm will calculate both your experience points earned, which are used to level up, as well as for upgrades, and then, or can be attributed to upgrades. And then also it'll calculate your token payout it's a skill-based game. The more skill, the better you play, the more you can earn. Okay. And then every level you play, obviously you can earn through that.
And is it going to be P2P or is that something coming out later?
Yeah, so we're starting with PvE, player versus environment. The next rollout from PvE will be multiplayer PvE. And then after that, we will be rolling out a PvP battle arena game or game mode within it, using the same maps, but letting player versus player, traditionally fight mechs like they want to. We've even got a whole tournament structure built out already. That was the first thing we built because it was really cool. And so now you can basically enter a tournament and everybody pays an entry fee in credits to enter the tournament. And it's a single elimination J ladder. And, the winners get the payouts from all the entry fees.
Okay. And then I have questions about cross-platform. So I assume it'll be PC, obviously. Is there plans for a mobile app? Or?
Yes. So the initial gameplay will be WebGL, actually.
Okay.
So it'll be browser-based. You won't need anything crazy. Yes, we have and going from there to mobile as well. When I said toilet game, that's literally what my lead developer, I got him from Ubisoft. He was the project lead on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And he's like, this is going to be the most ultimate toilet game. And I was like, I don't know what that term means. And he's like, dude, you just get on the toilet, you sit there and you never get off. And I'm like, all right, that sounds like a plan.
Yep. Candy Crush. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Do you ever have plans to go console?
Not yet. That is an opportunity that we can pursue when it gets there. But the problem with that is and that's not even the problem, but that's scope creep. And when we're trying to build a specific function and we have other pieces already coming out together, adding in like, Nintendo, Xbox, all these things, it means we're going to keep building all these different add-ons and different infrastructures to network with these platforms and never actually build anything that actually plays. So we want to build that first, and then we can say, okay, cool. Maybe we want to look at PlayStation or Xbox or whatever else.
Okay. And then I have my thoughts on this, but why Ethereum, not AVAX or BSC?
Okay, perfect. So only the NFT lives on Ethereum, and that's because that's where the store of value is. People can say, Solana is great or whatever, but the highest price Solana NFT is still a middlingly valued NFT on Ethereum. So in terms of protecting your investment and your value and appreciation and a market share to continue buying and everything, the NFT is going to live on Ethereum. The game will live on a layer 2. We are currently testing both AVAX and Polygon. They're kind of neck and neck. Polygon Studios, though, has been throwing us some major bones, trying to get us to work more exclusively with them. But the game will work exclusively, on a level 2. However, this is a good point to bring up here: is this game will not be a fully blockchain game, and that's intentional because there's absolutely zero reason on the planet to build a 100% on-chain game with our current level of technology. It's slow, inefficient, expensive, all those things. What's important is a hybrid model, because the best games are still built in Web 2 because that tech is there. But what you do is you build the game there so it can be fast, efficient, operate cool, do all the cool things we want. And then it integrates with Web 3 for blockchain interactions where needed, where the NFT has to interact, token transactions, updating IFPS, things like that. And that's what you're going to see in all the best games coming out. If AAA steps in the space, same thing. It will be a hybrid game built on Web 2, interacting with Web 3.
Yes, no, I totally agree. Yeah, and Web 3 is not meant to replace Web 2. It's meant to replace the data.
Yes, I love that you said that, because everybody's thinking it's one or the other, but it's not. The real evolution is the blending seamlessly of both to where we don't know which one we're using.
Right. Yeah, no, totally agree. So the way I look at the blockchain, it's really meant to replace the database layer of Web 2. And now your data, instead of being stored in this centralized database, now it's on the blockchain and just opens the door for a lot more things.
100%.
So that makes a lot of sense. So your NFT is stored on Ethereum because that's where NFTs keep their value. So if you buy one of these, mechs and you level it up, is that something?
You level, because you add all those different game editable stats. So add armor, add shielding, increase your speed, things like that.
But then to actually play, you'll mint and stuff on Ethereum, but then the gameplay and like collecting your rewards and stuff is going to be on either Polygon or AVAX.
It'll be, and the interaction will just be, you'll have a game wallet and you'll have an external wallet. And if you've ever played like Axie or any of the other games, it'll have a similar kind of bridging transaction. So it'll come right to you. So it's not like you're going to have to manage multiple different wallets on different chains and handle all that. It's just when it comes to, like, if we're using Polygon and it's costing a fraction of a penny for a transaction, that's going to happen. But then your tokens are still going to be ERC tokens. So you'll be able to trade them on Uniswap or any of the dexes. We've actually one of our VC guys has the connections with 2 different centralized exchanges that we've already spoken to about getting listed as well. So that's an ultimate goal, of course, is to get on a centralized exchange. But we'll start on the DEXs.
Okay, so I hope that clears that up for people asking about that. People hear Ethereum and then they kind of freak out.
I would too. I mean, if you
Yeah.
built any kind of project on Ethereum, you're crazy because it's just so expensive and slow.
Yep, totally. So, and I think that's wise. Ethereum is dominating the NFT portion of the blockchain, and anything that tries anywhere else is just not working as well.
Now, one thing that's interesting, because so the other company that I'm a co-owner in is called Byte, byt.io, and we have a Launchpad NFT marketplace, and we built a lot of tech. I mean, we built Neo Tokyo for Becker. We've done all the Solidity stuff for that. And but anyway, in that, one of the things we're working on is one of our projects is the ability to port NFTs from one chain to any other chain for the purpose of gaming. So, you know, it would almost be like a wrapped NFT at that point, right?
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have to buy weapons or earn them through gameplay?
Nope. The Genesis mechs are completely equipped. They come with between, well, it's 1 to 6, but there's really between 3 and 6 weapons. All of them have at least 3, as many as 6 built in, fully upgradable and editable, all of that stuff. So no, you don't have to buy those separately. You can earn cooler stuff in the game, of course, rare items and things like that. But no, I played another game that was already dead already. It died, but the idea was you got your robot and then you couldn't do anything until you bought more shit. And I just felt that was like robbing the players of the enjoyment of the game. So I wanted people to actually be able to play it right off the bat.
Okay, very cool. Can we talk a little bit about the roadmap? So
Sure.
Where you're at in the roadmap, and then you talked about the Genesis mint date, but maybe can we just get some dates and where you're at kind of on the roadmap?
Yeah. So right now we are, we're getting ready to do the mint. So we're basically, where are we right now on that? We're phase 6 right now on that. So this is just season 1 of our roadmap too. So season 2 kicks off obviously with the completion of season 1, but right now we're at whitelist presale, public mint. We're getting ready to do that next week. Whitelist is on Wednesday. Public mint is on Thursday. And that, as soon as that happens, we'll be doing all the marketing and all the stuff that goes along with that, releasing a lot more alpha and some other cool stuff. Following that, the next big thing is the mystery airdrop. Everybody's been asking us to reveal what it is, but we're not. It is, but I will tell you that it's the most rare item in the game. And if you have it, you can use it with your mech and your base in each game level, give you tactical advantage and ability to earn more. The reason it's the most rare item is there will never be any more produced. And every Genesis mech holder, as long as you hold it and you don't flip it before the airdrop, then you'll get that one as well. Of course, that's a fully tradable game character as well. Following that is NFT staking. So we will be starting NFT staking to reward our mech holders and allow them to earn the in-game currency, which is called credits, earn the in-game currency while we're waiting on the rest and the release of the game. So you're going to be able to earn a whole bag of credits that you can use to upgrade your mech, whatever, or start, you know, when the game launches, use it on the market or however you want to. But that'll happen right after that. Immediately after that is not immediately after that, right after we release that and everything. The next thing is the Stronghold, the land sale. But again, if you buy a Genesis mech, it is a land sale, but for you, it's free because you can mint it for free. We also are going to be doing our charity donation, which is the big thing. We're supporting a company called Operation Underground Railroad, which exists to save children from sex slavery and trafficking. It's a company that I've been supporting, or an organization I've been supporting since they started years ago. Tim Bird founded it, and basically they've saved kids all over the world in half the U.S. states, and the money actually goes to the street, to the people where they need it, not like some of the other charities that we've probably all supported in the past. But anyway, a portion of every mech sold is going to go to that. A portion of all secondary royalties will go to that, and a portion of all game revenue will go to this charity as well. So that's a big part of what I stand for anyway.
Okay, very cool. And is there going to be a difference in mint price for whitelist or public mint?
Yep. Whitelist gets a $50 discount.
Okay, so not a huge difference. So that's good in some ways because, yeah, if you don't get a whitelist, it's not like you're missing out on a ton.
Yeah.
Are there still whitelists available?
We do have whitelist spots available, and we can hook up some of your people with them if you want to in a special way. However you want to do that, I can squeeze some out.
Yeah.
Something else I think you wanted to talk about on the income side was like is it just flipping or selling? And no, it's not. So you can obviously play the character, you can flip the character, you can trade the character. And Alancho, great question. No, you don't even have to play the game. We also have renting. So leasing, renting built in, which from the Axie Infinity world, they call it scholarships, right? The ability to purchase your mechs and then rent them out to the player, all handled automatically by the smart contracts built into the game, where let's say, I own the mech, James wants to play it, and I say, hey, James, you can either rent it from me for 1 ETH for 30 days, or you can rent it from me for 50-50 split of the rewards, or 60-40 or 70-30 or whatever. And then they go out and James goes out and plays the mech, and I get my share, he gets his share, automatically handled. If James sucks at playing and is not making any money, I can cancel the rental agreement. Or if he's doing great, I can give him a bonus. Or we could just keep it going. The other thing is that the sideline benefit to me as the owner of the mech, or you as the owner of the mech, is James is playing the character, he's getting rewarded, but all the upgrades, like all the experience points, the leveling up, those go to the mech. So since you own the mech, that renter, James, is out there leveling up my mech, making it more valuable for me and paying me at the same time. So there's a whole mini economy within that. And if you play any of the other play to earn games, whether they're fun games or not, there is a huge subset of scholars, rental economy type things out there, and that have been proven to work very, very well when they're dialed in and when you don't let them get greedy. So you could buy, the simple example is you have, 20 mechs out there playing, you're making $10 a day off your split, $6,000 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Al wants to know, what will credits be listed at?
We haven't revealed that yet. That's part of the future release, but we have 2 tokens in the game, by the way. Credits are the inflationary in-game currency, and then we have mech tokens, which are the governance token. Okay, the governance token is the cap supply. Those ones, again, that's where we'll have the TGE event and everything else. And another cool thing about the governance tokens, which are the ones that will have the higher value, is that every Genesis mech holder has an allocation set aside of those tokens, of the mech tokens, because I set aside 1% of the total supply for Genesis mech holders that, should they choose to, before the TGE event, where it goes public and the public can buy it, they can purchase their allocation, which is unique to each mech. Each mech has the same number, for the VC round price. The same VC private price. So you'll basically get a 30-40% discount or more if you choose to take that out. It's optional, of course, but each mech has a fixed allocation. So if you have 5 mechs, you got 5 allocations.
Okay, very cool. And that was another question, is, are they swappable? So if you have one and you want to get another one, are they swappable, or do you have to sell and buy a new one, or just buy another one?
Of the mechs?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can only play one mech at a time in the game, but you could have 5 or 6 and swap and play whichever one you want at the time. Certain mechs may have certain abilities that are better for certain levels, or heavier armor, faster. Different levels have different requirements, so you may want to switch that up, but you don't have to. They all will play the game. But no, you don't have to buy new ones. You could keep using the same one all the way through the game if you want, or buy a new one and then rent out the other one. Our kind of rule of thumb is buy one, rent one, flip one.
Yeah, no, and that is cool. That's what's cool about crypto NFT gaming, is, in theory, the NFTs will hold their value and increase in value. So you could not even get involved with the game at all, and all you do is just buy the NFT and hold on. I mean, that's what most NFTs are.
Correct.
You just buy it, hold it, and it goes up.
Nothing happens, or you hope it goes up, right?
Yep. Or even just that the price of Ethereum goes up.
True.
You just wait 3 years and the price of Ethereum goes up, and then you can sell.
So with the gaming side of things, not necessarily just our project, but gaming projects in general, why I like them if they're well done is that they provide an inherent and consistent way of allowing the value to increase, not dictated by the market or by hype, right? Because as a gaming economy gets built, gamers want what the others have. Or like, you play the game and you find this cool item, but you don't need it because you have something even better. And I'm like, damn, I want it. I'll buy it from you, right? And it just continues. And so all that stuff, and as you level up, you're inherently leveling up something, and you're improving the value of it in the ecosystem, which allows you to then demand a higher price from it on the market. Whereas other NFTs, and this isn't against them, it's just they are what they are, and you have no way of impacting whether they go up or down.
Sorry, I lost the mute button there for a second. Yes. And so for people who want a whitelist, here's what I want you to do. If you promise that you will actually use the whitelist, because often I have a problem with people wanting free whitelists and then they don't end up using it. But if you really, really, really want a whitelist, I want everybody who wants a whitelist, who's watching this live, to shoot me a DM on Twitter, and then I'll work out something with Tanner and we'll figure out the best way to get that to you. So here's my Twitter. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. We'll work something out and get as many people as we can a whitelist for this. If you promise to play, is the one.
Or rent. You don't have to play, but just use your NFT, right? Don't just let it sit there. I mean, and if you want to flip, dude, go ahead and flip. Like, just flip intelligently. Don't flip and lose your ass. Like, there's no point. Like, flip it for more money, right? It's like that way you're not hurting the project and you're not hurting yourself.
Yes, correct. And then entry price of the whitelist is going to be $550.
$550, correct.
Okay, and
whitelist is mint 3.
Okay, and
so
that's
you can do the buy one, mint one, free. Sell one.
Okay, very cool. And that's going to be on Wednesday for whitelist. Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then 24 hours later on the 12th, public launch will kick off. And of course, if you mint in the whitelist and you want more, you can do that as well. We've already got a lot of guilds involved in this project. With guilds that have committed. We've already have agreements in place where they're buying mechs, and they bought mechs in bulk, and they are also not allowed to flip. They're literally agreeing to buy them for the game to play them. And guilds are the establishment of renting, right? That's all they do.
Right. No, very cool. And then I'm going to post a link to the website. I'm going to post a link to the Discord and also your Twitter, so you can hop in there for sure. So here's one maybe final question. If other people have questions, feel free to ask. So I was kind of wondering, when we look at the other games that have been successful in the play to earn area, Axie Infinity, Kerbata would be kind of a second one, and they've not been very fun. But we've also seen the economies eventually, they kind of reach a crashing point where what do you guys think? Why do you think that's happened? And how are you kind of planning for that not to happen?
For sure. No, that's a great question. And you're right. Like, you look at, God, dang, I thought my phone was on silent. You watch the token price of these different projects, and you look at it and you think, okay, this is crushing it. These scholars are making so much money. I mean, at Axie's height, they had over 1 million players logging in every day to play, making their full-time income from the Philippines, right? Like, it's just crazy. But the problem is that, and one of the things that Axie was working on, but they never got around to fixing before all their hacks and all that stuff, was the mint to burn ratio. And that's the biggest thing that these games are lacking, is a good mint to burn ratio. So mint is payout to the player, burn is payback into the game, right? And removing them, whether it's burning the token completely or just removing it from circulation so it can't flood the market. Now, scholars or renters are the biggest problem there, because they're playing the game for money and they want to just take everything they earn and go dump it on the market and exchange it for cash, whatever. Understandable. That's what they're doing. However, these games don't have a good ratio of mechanics built into the game to require bigger portions of those earnings to come back into the game. There has to be, in any economy, there's got to be a give and take, right? There's got to be money coming in, there's got to be money coming out. And so one of the things we're doing is, in typical games, play to earn games, most of the burn mechanics are at the guild or renter side, not rentee. So we've built it into where the rentee also has burn mechanics. So they're going to make money, but they can't take all of it out. And there's also incentives with skins and a whole bunch of other unique features in the game that are going to, just like any of these free-to-play games that we play where you can buy with real money and, oh, I want to buy that, I want that, I want that. We're going to have that infrastructure as well, but they'll use the in-game currency to do that. So it will help offset that. Now, the other thing that we're doing that a lot of games don't have, but I think will become standard in the future, is a actual economic dashboard on the back end, on the admin side of the game, where every different control of the smart contract is actually a variable that we can then adjust as inflation or deflation. So we can make things cost more or cost less and just literally adjust the game. So breeding or forging, it always costs X amount to breed. Well, that number should be able to fluctuate based on, do we have too many mechs in the game? Do we need to slow down breeding? But most of the time they don't change that in games because they can't, because it's fixed in the smart contract.
So there's going to be mech breeding.
Well, forging, because I don't think you can breed metal.
I was gonna say, this can become a very interesting game. So another question that I had, well, and first off, for some of the people, I'm not going to hold you to this, but in your best guess, when will a playable version of the game be ready?
Our devs are saying mid to late June.
Okay, so it's not that far off, and we're not holding you to that. Things can always change.
Correct, but that's what my devs are telling me right now. And they have not changed their tune in over 2.5 months. So
okay, so we're not looking at like a year out.
Oh,
we're looking at like...
So that's another thing, just for put people to rest. Like this project, guys, we're minting in May 12th, right? I've fully funded this project out of my own pocket for the last 8 months. And we started building, I hired a team, everybody's full time. Our game dev started 2 months before we even opened our Discord, building the game. So this is not one of those projects where I need your mint money in order to promise you a project that I think I'm going to build in the future. We're building this project one way or the other. Like the only thing that the mint changes is the velocity at which we can build. Right? We mint and we have a bunch of money in the treasury. I can hire 20 more game devs like that. Yeah. That's the only thing that changes.
And I want to show the team again, just because like, yeah, some people are comparing it to some of the other play to earn games that have been out there. And it's just not even the team you have already. Like it's not the same team that builds those little, cloned games.
I'm okay. Guys, go ahead and compare. But then if you're going to compare, make an apples to apples comparison, take a couple minutes, and then educate yourself. Go watch one of my other AMAs where I walk you through the entire project, start to finish, and make up your own mind then. I have no problem with you guys making comparisons and going, being questionable. Like I question things, and I think you should. Like I'm not even asking you to mint my project if you don't like it. But make sure you're making an apples to apples comparison and not just assuming that it's just like the others, because I wouldn't build it if it was, because Me Too's aren't worth building.
Yeah. And there's no need, like if you don't believe in it, there's no need to mint, day one. Like you can wait to see.
Buy on the secondary.
Yep. Buy up the secondary market, wait and see. Sometimes launches don't go the best. So, you can wait, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and then Jeremy wants to know, the whitelist price is $5.50. Did I hear something about buy one mint, get one free?
All right, Jeremy. So you did hear that, but out of context. So whitelist price $5.50. Yes. Mint a mech. Cool. That's it. There is no buy one, get one on the mechs, but you buy a mech and you hold it. When we do the second collection for the land sale, you get to mint the land for free.
So this Genesis mint is going to be everything that you need to start playing.
Correct. You get everything all with that. I mean, it just dropped at different times because obviously those collections come out later.
Yes. And it says, awesome. It's already well into dev. So tired of buying our NFT, then maybe we'll build something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, David, that's basically the glorified, crowdfunding or GoFundMe type of thing. Like, give me all your money and then we'll try to build this thing, which it works. But I'm on the same side. Like I'm a gamer. I buy all the same stuff you guys do. And I'm frustrated too. And like, okay, like couple, I'm not even gonna name it, but a project that everybody, I guarantee every one of us saw or watched, it's almost 2 years now, or a year and a half now, and they still haven't even have an outline of the game that they're going to build. And they took $6 million out of the market. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I totally get it, David. Like I'm on that same page with you. Like, and that's why we're doing things a little bit differently.
Yep, totally. And it is difficult because if you have an idea for a game, like you had the benefit, you had some cash that you were able to infuse in. And for some people, they have an idea for a game, maybe they're a programmer and they really want to build something, but I mean, it's expensive. It's a lot.
Very expensive.
Yep. So some of these have been, and if you've missed some of this, you can go back and watch the replay. Is there a scholarship feature or only rent?
So scholarship feature is the same as renting. It's just a different terminology. So, but the person who owns the mech is the one who grants the scholarship, not from the game itself. So the game, you can't get a scholarship from the game, but you can get it from someone who wants to rent their NFT or scholar their NFT out on the market. So they're the same. They mean the same thing.
Okay. Very cool. Does anybody else have any other questions? This was helpful for me. I've actually talked with Tanner quite a bit before. I had an AMA I did like maybe a month ago or maybe even longer.
I think it's longer than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. And then I just took too long to get it out. And then things had changed enough where I was like, you know what, let's have you on for another AMA. And so very cool. Let's see, what's the 10K and the 550? So 550 is the whitelist mint price. And I think 10K
collection size
is the collection size. Okay, so that's the total number. And that's kind of that's become the NFT number to hit, where you can kind of see if there's enough people that are really interested in it. That seems to be all the collections are 10K.
Yeah, and our reasoning behind it, like we actually originally had looked at doing a smaller collection, but because we want the game to play, and a lot of times when you mint smaller collections, you wind up with a lot of holders that own more than, or a few holders that own a lot of the same NFT. We need diversity in players, so a larger collection allows us to get a larger collection of players out there. And of course, we're going to be launching a game design council, lore committee, and a bunch of things that are made up of the community to help dictate game development and game design and where we go in the future. So the more people we have in that initial Genesis round, the better it is for the community.
Okay, and Father Earth, if you do have more questions, feel free to shoot me a DM on Twitter too. We can talk through some of this. So basically, they're going to have 10,000 Genesis NFTs. Yep. And then after 10,000, you can't get any more. Okay. So, and is there going to be a max per wallet, or is it as many?
Whitelist is meant 3, and then public, I think we're going to allow 3 or 4, I think. But, you know, public is whatever you get.
Okay. So that means basically there's these 10,000 to start off. And it's probably it's going to be hard to tell how quickly those will mint out. It could be really fast.
I mean, you know, just like any mint, you know, you get a lot of people on the whitelist. Like right now, if half the people on the whitelist actually minted, we would sell out, right? Like the full number, but we all know that that's not how it works, right? You know, so we have a guaranteed whitelist, which is what I'll be giving you guys. So if you do get on that whitelist, you're guaranteed to be able to mint. And then we have the secondary whitelist that's not guaranteed, but you still get to go before public.
Okay, very cool. Well, I'm excited. I'll probably mint 3. I like your buy one, rent one, and flip one. I like that. That sounds like good financial advice to me.
Except though neither one of us are giving financial advice.
Never. We
are not lawyers. We didn't stay at a Holiday Inn, and we are not financial advisors either.
Yep. As your friend Andy always says, I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't know why you would take financial advice from me. So I think that's all the questions we have. This was very informative. Yep. Thank you, Tanner, for hopping on. Thanks
for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate it. And audience, appreciate you guys so much. Just coming on and indulging. Guys. Yeah, you had great questions. And I appreciate you indulging my crypto gaming love. I do think this is the future, not only of gaming, but I think it's the future of crypto. You know, the markets are down right now. We need new money coming in to crypto. And I think gaming is going to be that avenue. I was looking, we're down to 1.6 trillion complete market cap in crypto. So that's down over $1 trillion with twice as many projects as a year ago. And so we need new people. We have all these crypto people, they've just transferred money from one project to another. And the bridge between normal people and crypto people, I think, is going to be gaming. So, and I think this is an important step in that.
Totally agree.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys. Thank you, Tanner. Yeah, anybody who wants a whitelist, shoot me a DM, and if we get too many, I'll work something out. We'll figure it out. But thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. See you, Tanner.